concept in Hinduism. Like Hinduism also has this concept
Yes.
of birth and rebirth,
Yes.
next life.
However, birth and the word rebirth is more specific to Buddhism. And Hinduism specifically, for example, if you study Krishna consciousness, they use the word reincarnation rather than rebirth. So there's a technical difference between reincarnation and rebirth. And in Hinduism, maybe according to the Bhagavad Gita,
Yeah.
a human body is like a piece of clothing that you wear for a certain amount of time, and then you take it off, and that's when you die, and then you wear something else, and that's when someone else takes another form of life, a reincarnation, right? However, this entails that the same soul is just changing clothes,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
You're just the same soul, you're just moving from one life to another. In Buddhism, there is no such thing as a soul. There's no eternal self-existent soul. It is just a stream of consciousness which you have now, and is moving to another being in a different life.
I love your choice of words when you say it's a stream of consciousness. And I can picture why it would sort of say that particular language. Does it talk about consciousness on an individual level, or does it talk about consciousness of the universe as a whole?
So the Buddhists are very picky about their words. And I was having this discussion. We were in a discussion with a very smart nun back in Nepal, and there were some philosophy students who were asking her questions, and some students were asking questions using words that were not Buddhist, right? And she said, when you are speaking to me, make sure that you use Buddhist words, because we as Buddhists, we take our words very seriously. Do not use the word reincarnation in the place of rebirth. Do not use the word soul in the place of a stream of consciousness. Be very careful about the words I use, because this is very critical to this is what differentiates Buddhism from other spirituality. So just back to your question, the concept of consciousness is very complicated. It can take hours to discuss consciousness. Consciousness in Buddhism is the mind itself.
Yeah.
It is what you have, that what brings you life. Because
Yeah.
there's no such thing as soul. It is what brings you life, and consciousness and the mind are synonymous in Buddhism, and they are usually and you can get into details. Like, for example, a human being has consciousness, but does a cat have consciousness? Does a tree have consciousness? And you can get into these kind of nitty-gritty details. However, the main discussion is if you ask about specifically the case of human beings. Human beings have a single consciousness, and that gets kind of just moved from to a stream of consciousness that gets moved to other beings based on their karma.
I see. So if I'm someone born into that kind of a community, and tomorrow I say that my life is miserable because of my forefathers, would that be a right statement to make, or is that invalid?
Yes, in a way that would be. I actually asked this to one of my teachers. She was a nun, and she was explaining karma in a way, and the question of sickness of children came up. It's like children who were born with a sickness,
Yeah.
or children that get cancer at an early age, and if you want the politically correct answer, I can give you the politically correct answer. If you want the actual Buddhist answer, I can give it the actual Buddhist answer.
Both. Disclaim them with the politically correct and disclaim it with
the politically correct answer would say, it's not necessarily karma. There are certain conditions. The Buddhists don't believe that, children born with an illness have done something in a previous life. However, this answer is not the actual Buddhist answer. The Buddhist answer is that people get born with a certain luck or a certain, let's say, tendency or a certain illness because of karma that they have accumulated in a previous life.
Yeah, so and that is actually a very good answer, because that leads me to my next question, which is, if that is the belief system, what drives their moral and social incentives? So, like, for example, if I'm today doing whatever I'm doing it in the belief that my destiny is in my control to some degree. But if there is a group of people that believe that their destiny is already written for them or spoken for them, what drives their moral, or based on what their previous.
So here we're not talking about destiny, we're talking about karma. So the concept of destiny being predetermined, that's more of a kind of Western concept, which kind of got rooted from Christianity and Islam and
Okay.
all. Well, karma is not the same thing. Karma is the actions that you do now you will get a reaction to these actions, a reaction from the universe or whatever you want to call it. So if you do negative or evil things in this life today, you will get punished for them either in this day, in this life, or in a different life. Right, and being punished for them is not necessarily means being born with an illness, because you have to know something, that in Buddhism there are 6 realms of existence. One of them is the hellish realms. So the hellish realm is different from the concept of hell in Islamic Christianity. The hellish realm is a realm where people get born and that people get born into, and they live very, very difficult life in which there is so much pain and suffering. Okay, and they say that it is possible to escape the hellish realm to the human realm or to other realms. However, it is very difficult, you know. So karma is how you move from one life to another. If you don't get the karma, the reactive karma within your life
So
here.
would it be, no, this is not Buddhist, this is me speaking. I don't, like, I try my best to not hurt someone or don't do anything wrong, because I have this belief internally that if I do something wrong to someone, somewhere I'm going to, like, face the music for that. Like, somewhere the universe is going to do
Absolutely.
something wrong to me. Which, that belief for me at least, is coming from past experience. Like, don't do wrong to anyone else so that nobody does wrong to you. Now, it almost sounds to me like even karma is more of a sick, like, ongoing, continuous timing
Yes.
philosophy. Like, it's an ever moving.
Karma is one of the theological concepts, theological concepts in Buddhism, because you cannot have the cyclical existence of time without karma, because the karma is the driving force that decides, you know, how you're gonna be born, when you're gonna be born, in which form, in which realm. Are you gonna be born as an animal or as a human or as a god? Because there is a kind of heavenly realm in Buddhism as well. However, it means something different from God in Christianity and stuff. So yeah, so this is the machine that decides all of that is karma, and the difference is that it crosses, you know, the span of one life. It's just across all
Wow.
all
Wow.
life infinitely.
You mentioned 7 realms.
6, yeah.
6, sorry. Apart from the hellish, what are the other realms?
So there's the hellish realm, there's the realm of hungry ghosts,
Yeah.
there's the realm of
And
animals.
sorry, if you could also provide a description.
Yeah,
of
so
what
the
happens.
realm of hungry ghosts is a realm which is similar to the hellish realm, but they are not suffering as much. So in the Buddhist scripture, they describe the beings living there as, for example, drinking water and never getting their thirst quenched. Always kind of struggling in life without reaching anywhere. However, they're not suffering as much as in the people or the beings in the hellish realm. And then you have the realm over that, which is the animal realm, where animals and creatures live. They're not necessarily suffering, but they are just not on a higher level as humans. And then you have the human realm, and then you have the semi-gods and semi-gods realm and the gods realm.
So who are the semi-gods and the gods?
Those are it's even in Buddhist scripture, it's very difficult to understand these realms, especially coming from because the word God, the realm of gods, or semi-gods, does not mean the same thing as God as the creator, and the creator, or the ever eternal God that you have in Buddhism, and in Christianity, and Islam. They are just people who are enjoying, they're just beings who have an amazing life, or they're not necessarily, it's called the heavenly realms. They're not necessarily God in the same sense as, being all powerful, or any of that. The most important realm is the human realm, because that is the only realm in which you can attain enlightenment.